Greetings, everyone. Bishop Vetter here, your bishop. Good to be with you. I just got back from an 11-day trip. By the time you watch this on Friday, I've been back a few days. But I ended up going to the Kalispell Deanery. It's our largest territory, and I was all over the place. It was delightful, tiring, but it was so good to see so many of you out there. And the crowds were great, and every time I go, it's more and more familiar faces, more and more wonderful interactions. So I want to thank those in the Kalispell Deanery for all the work it took and for being so generous and outgoing with me. So I started by going to Legendary Lodge. I've been going every week to Legendary Lodge to see the different groups. So I was with the 5th and 6th grade boys, 120 of them. Man, they got energy. But it was wonderful to spend an hour with them, question and answer, and I had Mass with them. Also, a few things, I got to read it off my calendar. I'll never remember it otherwise. But I got to go and see Charlotte, which was nice. Hadn't been there for a while. Ronan. Then ended up going to a barbecue that all the youth group, the kids, the high school kids, threw me a party. Tons. It was a ball. We had a great time, wonderful food, played some games, answered questions, very engaging, and it was delightful. And it was very touching. So they organized, they did all the names, sent me all the names of the kids that I confirmed some months back. And Nikki, their director for DRE, asked if I would send him a note if I had time. So obviously driving all over the place. So I spent 3 hours in the car sending him each a handwritten note. And it was amazing how many of them came up and said, that's the first time I ever received a handwritten note. So it was great. It was wonderful to do. We can kind of forget about that, huh? How important that is. Went to Libby. Knights of Columbus made a feast for us. Then got up spent some time that afternoon to see the falls right outside of Thompson Falls. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Was in Plains, then went up to Eureka. That was a long drive from Plains to Eureka. I don't know what I was thinking, but it was great. They cooked for me up there as well and did some answers, question and answer times after all the masses, usually about an hour and a half. And it's more and more, the questions are more engaged, more than just asking me my favorite color or my favorite saint. So that's been great. Had times with the priests, with the deacons and their wives. Did some stuff for our capital campaign, rolling that out. I'll come to you and talk to you about that here soon. But we're starting it, and we're in the silent phase right now, and the parishes are starting. And Kalispell rolled out the first one, which it was wonderful. Then went to the 5th and 6th grade girls, so 105 of them at Legendary Lodge. That was another delight. Had Mass with them. And then just continued on and got to meet some wonderful people who had me over to their homes, large gatherings, small gatherings, all sorts. And then at Big Fork at St. John Paul II, they had sold tickets and had a party, a dinner. 250 people came. And that was really great with a 2-hour question and answer period, live music, drummers, all sorts of things that they had. Had an evening with a bunch of guys, invited me over for a cigar. So that was fun to do. And to have that time together. And then ended in Hamilton to consecrate an altar, which was such a beautiful ceremony. It really is gorgeous to what the church's liturgy is. And it was on a Monday at 12:10, and there were hundreds of people that came. So I was very encouraged by that. So just to give you a little update of what I've been up to, where I've been, it's been exhausting but exhilarating as well. I hope you enjoy some of these photos that give you some of the idea. Know my prayers. Pray for me as well. My next deanery comes up here. I'll go to Butte. That's coming up, and I'll give you an update on that. When I'm finished with that, I'll have visited all the parishes and missions at least 3 times. So that's been great. God bless you. Know my prayers. Bye now.